Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most common things that we talk about on this channel is dating choices. Who you date, where that could lead to. And this story is slightly different than what we normally talk about because we're actually talking about a young relationship, talking about a young girl between the ages of 15 and 16. I'm not sure if she was 15 or 16 because I saw some conflicting reports. But we tend to talk about your dating choices and being very cautious and understanding that when you date thugs, you date death. And when I say that, it doesn't mean that all men or whatever it is, I guess women can be thugs too, but it doesn't mean that it's a definitive thing for all. It's never all. Hashtag not all. But I think that there should be a raised awareness, a raised concern when you're dealing with people that are not stable, that might be living a life of crime, might be into gangs, might be into drugs, might be into a lot of different things that women nowadays find cute. Again, not all. I mean, no disrespect. But I am going to say some things that might not sit well with your sensibilities. This story comes out of Houston, Texas. Again, my state takes the L for this one. The young girl that you see on my screen, see if I can back that up. She is 16 years old, or it said 15 in some reports, but I'm going to say 16. Her name was Diamond Alvarez. She was a 16-year-old girl out of Houston, Texas, who was shot and killed while walking her family's dog on January the 11th of 2022. That was only, 9 days ago. But let me clarify, because initially when I saw this story, they made it seem like this was something random. And I thought about it and I said, okay, maybe this was random. Then they told me how many times the girl was shot. And I said, no damn way this was random. There's a man involved. There's another person involved. There's somebody emotional that was involved. This wasn't like she was just hit by a stray bullet. No. I believe that they said she was hit 22 times. 22 times is a lot of hate. That is a lot of anger. Okay? But they found her shot and killed while walking the family's dog on January the 11th of 2022, this year, sorry. On Park Manor Street, police say. At the time, they didn't have any suspects arrested, but there is a suspect, which is that individual that you see on my screen. I think I have this as an update. Let me make sure. So, at the time, no suspects had been arrested, and witnesses reported hearing multiple gunshots and tires squealing, according to the Houston Police Department. And I'm getting this article from heavy.com, so thank you for the article. Police say that Diamond's family became concerned when their dog returned home without her, and when they went to look for her, they found her dead in a field near a park. Houston police are investigating the fatal shooting of a juvenile female that occurred at 5100 Markwood Lane at about 9:30 p.m., according to their statement. Her family identified Diamond as the victim on January the 12th, the morning after the shooting. Officers responded to a report of a shooting at the above address and, upon arrival, found the victim lying on the edge of an empty field, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Responding Houston Fire Department paramedics pronounced the female deceased at the scene. On January the 18th, which was 2 days ago from today, police announced that 17-year-old Frank DeLeon Jr., let me see if I can get this this individual on my screen. This guy, 17-year-old Frank DeLeon Jr., had been arrested in Diamond's death and charged with murder. Police said in a statement that DeLeon shot Diamond, who was his girlfriend, multiple times after she learned that he was dating another girl. DeLeon is being held with no bond. But when you hear the details, you're going to understand why he got no bond. Houston Police Lieutenant Larry Croson told reporters at the scene At the scene, officers from the Southwest Patrol were dispatched to a report of a shooting at around 9:30 p.m. People in the area heard numerous gunshots. A family member in one of the houses knew that their 16-year-old daughter was walking the dog in the neighborhood, Carlson said. They went around the corner and unfortunately found her on the side of the roadway next to a community park, and she is deceased at the scene. Carlson added, "The only information we have right now is that there might have been a dark vehicle that fled north on Markwood." He said homicide investigators will be at the scene talking to witnesses and looking at surveillance footage in the area. He said additional information will be released by the police department when it's available. Now, according to the police and Diamond's family, the girl was shot 22 times, with some of the shots hitting her in the back. She tried to crawl away, and he just kept firing. Diamond's family told the news, which is Fox 26 Houston, she was a sophomore honor student at Madison High School. She had straight A's and played volleyball and basketball and was hoping to go to cosmetology school after graduating. The family told reporters that their dog returned home without her, and the mother and stepfather found him in the yard. They grew concerned and went to look for her. "My son found her. I tried CPR and I couldn't bring her back. So I tried to keep her alive and I couldn't," according to Diamond's mother, Anna Machado, told the news. Machado told the news station that her daughter had been having an argument with her ex-boyfriend, and he had texted her to meet him near where she was found dead. Police have not confirmed if they are looking into that ex-boyfriend, which they are. I've already confirmed that, so they're kind of telling this story in steps. Let me skip that part because we already know. So we have his name, and we know that he is the person that did this. Let me give you guys the fair usage. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, and if you guys are watching this, make sure y'all hit that thumbs up. We want to try to share these things. And again, this was a between 15 and 16-year-old girl who was just dealing with a person who seemed like a thug, and he was unstable. And it is very, very vital that you be careful who you date, because when you date thugs, you date a high possibility that things can go wrong.
Thank you. Now to breaking news we're tracking in Southwest Houston. A shooting left a 15-year-old girl dead. Her family says the violence happened while she was out walking the dog.
We are also told the teenager was shot 22 times. Brittany Jeffers is live on the story near the teen's home, which is on Park Manor and Markwood Lane. Brittany, good morning.
And good morning to you. An absolutely devastating case. I spoke with the family members about an hour ago who are truly heartbroken. They tell me the victim in this case, 15-year-old Diamond Alvarez. They tell me that she'd left the home. She was out walking in the area, taking the family dog for a walk around 8 o'clock, but she never came back. Instead, family members tell me they found her in this field, shot to death. This morning, you can see a memorial starting to grow in her honor. Now, if you take a look, the family shared this photo with us. This is 15-year-old Diamond. They say a sophomore at Madison High School. Her mother and stepfather tell me that she walks the family dog Peanut out here in this field every day. The family lives just a few blocks from here, and they say that it was the dog who alerted them that Diamond was in trouble.
He's the one who let us know something was wrong, because he's the one who went in the door, and we knew that when he came back on his own, that something was wrong.
Houston police tell us that they were called out to the scene in Southwest Houston around 9:30 last night. They say victim died at the scene, and at this point they have not identified any suspects other than that the shooter may have been in a dark colored vehicle heading northbound. Now, family members out here this morning tell me that they want answers, and they want whoever is responsible for this to turn themselves in immediately.
I tried CPR and I couldn't bring her back.
Whoever shot this girl for 22 times on the back, they're cowards.
Something that we do every day. Many of us, we walk our dog, and overnight a 16-year-old girl was doing just that when police say she was shot and killed along Park Manor in Southwest Houston. ABC 13's Bree Berry this morning joining us live.
Okay, yes, I forgot about that part. Some of you guys have actually read this story, and some of y'all are jumping a little bit ahead of the news story. But yes, the boy that we believe shot and murdered his girlfriend got a bond, a monetary bond. They got a bond. He got the bond paid, and he is currently out of jail. I forgot about that, but thank you for reminding me in the chat. Y'all want to know what makes that even worse? Let alone the fact that somebody that murdered your daughter is out of jail. He lives 5 houses away from them. Out on bond at his residence 5 houses away. Just for the safety of that boy alone, that's not even a smart thing to let him even get a bond. Let that be me as a father. Let's think about that for a moment. Let that be me as a father. Yeah, he got bonded. Yeah, he's out. Let that be me as a father. And my child's killer is out of jail? What? Have y'all seen fathers' reactions in court to the people who killed their children? If you haven't watched how they've reacted in court, we're not talking about in court. We're talking about in your neighborhood, nearby. How about that? What do y'all think about that? Tell me. Y'all are going to hear it here in the next couple of news videos. What do y'all think about that? Thought I'd throw that out there. That's why I said it's not smart. It's not smart to give him a bail and then for him to achieve the bail and be out.
And Bree, this is just a heartbreaking story, especially knowing that her parents were the ones who discovered her.
Yeah, Samika, you said it perfectly. I mean, this is something no family should ever have to experience, especially not being the ones to find their 16-year-old. As you mentioned, she was just walking her dog, something all of us do, right? And they heard gunshots in their neighborhood. They thought she's out there. They got a little worried, so they went to look for her, and sadly, they found her body on the side of the road. So, you know, we want to get into the details of this because investigators are asking for your help. If you saw something or maybe you were in the area. Now, when that family heard the gunshots from inside their home, as I mentioned, they immediately thought of their 16-year-old, knowing she was outside walking her dog. And, you know, at that point, they went out there and they found her body on the side of the road near one of the parks in the neighborhood. And at this point, investigators, all they say they can do is point to a possible drive-by.
The only information we have right now is there might have been a dark vehicle.
The 17-year-old accused of fatally shooting his girlfriend 22 times was arrested Monday night, but he's now out on bond. And the family of the victim, 16-year-old Diamond Alvarez, tells KHOU they fear something might happen to them since they have been receiving threats after the shooting. The 17-year-old accused of fatally shooting his girlfriend 22 times was arrested Monday night, but he's now out on bond. And the family of the victim, 16-year-old Diamond Alvarez, tells KHOU they fear something might happen to them. The 17-year-old accused of fatally shooting his girlfriend 22 times was arrested Monday night, but he's now out on bond. And the family of the victim, 16-year-old Diamond Alvarez, tells KHOU they fear something might happen to them since they have been receiving threats after the shooting. Anayeli Ruiz joins us live from Park Manor Street. And Anayeli, what is Diamond's mother saying?
Well, hey, Reka, as you can imagine, she's heartbroken that he was let out on such a low bond. She says she lives in fear because he lives just 5 blocks away from her house.
My heart dropped again.
That was a reaction Ana Machado had after she learned that the man accused of shooting and killing her daughter bonded out of jail.
He executed my daughter. It was execution. Why would you want that animal to be out here for what?
17-year-old Frank De Leon was charged with the murder of 16-year-old Diamond Alvarez last week in Southwest Houston. At the time Diamond was walking her dog, prosecutors say she had been shot 22 times as she lay face up on the ground. And today De Leon was back in court to set his bond conditions. De Leon was surrounded by family.
Do you have anything to say?
During the court hearing, we also learned that De Leon and Alvarez had broken up after being in a romantic relationship for the past 6 months. Prosecutors say they met up at the park after Alvarez learned that De Leon was seeing another woman. They say prior to getting together, text messages between them showed De Leon asking Alvarez to keep their relationship a secret, saying, quote, "Don't ruin this for me." Prosecutors say at certain times of the relationship, he's accused of being violent with both women.
The complaining witness, specifically one where he had pointed a gun at her and, quote, clicked it.
And now her family is living in fear because of threats they say they keep receiving. They say they've called police about those threats.
They pointed, they lowered the window and they just did this with their hands. I mean, we know what it means.
With a cop guarding her house 24/7, she's begging and asking them to leave her alone.
All we trying to do is be in peace with Diamond. That's all we want. We're not doing nothing else. We're not doing nothing wrong.
As for his bonds conditions, well, he is supposed to remain under house arrest. He's not to leave Harris County. He has to wear an ankle monitor, and he also can't have any contact with the victim's family or the alleged woman he was having a relationship with.
Now, how many of you guys believe that an ankle monitor is going to prevent him from going 5 blocks over to go do something to the rest of her family? An ankle monitor is not going to stop anything, but jail can, prison can. Not an ankle monitor, though. I feel much more confident in prison bars, cinder blocks, steel, and a cage rather than giving this fool a bond. Like, are you kidding me? How does he get a bond? I don't understand. Like, maybe I would have to call down there and ask the courts, or even if I'm in that area, I would have to find out what the rules are to that, gang member or not. I don't understand how you get shit. Give him a $3-4 million bond, something 22 times. I don't know, man. Ankle monitor ain't gonna cut it.
Reporting live, Anayeli Ruiz, KHOU 11 News.
Okay, thank you so much, Anayeli. And by the way, the bond was set based on the prosecutor's recommendation to the judge, $250,000. We have tried to reach out to the district attorney's office to see why the bond was set so low, but we have not yet heard back from them. Anayeli. And by the way, the bond was set based on the prosecutor's recommendation to the judge, $250,000. We have tried to reach out to the
So 250, 25,000. So apparently they probably put their house up and got him out. I'm assuming his parents bailed him out. But where did he get the 22 rounds from? He's 17. He's not old enough to buy weapons. Not legally. To me, that signifies that the parents haven't been raising him correctly. That means that they have raised him to be infallible and think that nothing that he does is wrong, and there's going to always be somebody there to wipe his ass. You saw how they walked him into court, tried to protect him from the reporters and all of that stuff. I don't want him saying nothing that's going to get him in any further trouble. I can only understand that to a certain extent. But when you do something like this, I'm sorry, man. You know, stupid is the stupid thugs. I can't support my kids doing no stupid crap like this because they got emotional. They got together $25,000. I'm assuming they probably put their house up.
We have tried to reach out to the district attorney's office to see why the bond was set so low, but we have not yet heard back from them. We've also reached out to Frank DeLeon's public defender.
411. Houston police have arrested a 17-year-old they believe shot and killed his girlfriend last week. Prosecutors say 16-year-old Diamond Alvarez was shot 22 times while walking her dog. Anieli Ruiz spoke with the girl's family today and has their reaction. Anieli.
Well, hey guys, as you can imagine, the family tells me they are relieved that finally someone was arrested. He was actually arrested not too far from this location. Take a look. This is who police arrested, 17-year-old Frank De Leon. He was charged with murder. And according to investigators, De Leon was in a relationship with the victim, 16-year-old Diamond Alvarez, and another woman. When Alvarez found out about the other woman, they say she met De Leon here at this park. And that is when they say he shot her and fled the scene. Her family said they went looking for her after she never returned home from walking the dog and found her here in this park where she died. Detectives say they worked with the community to track him down and were able to arrest him last night. And just today, detectives were back here at the scene. They moved the bears and all the candles left behind to collect more evidence. But here's what prosecutors just said in court about De Leon.
The victim in this case is a 16-year-old child who was shot 22 times, mostly in the back. She was shot while lying on her back on the ground.
Again, De Leon is being charged with murder. His bond was set at $250,000. We did find out he lives with his parents, and the only time he spoke in court today was to ask the judge if he could go back to school. Now, funeral arrangements have been set for Diamond Alvarez. They're set to happen on Thursday and Friday. Guys, we'll send it back.
So clearly this fool has learned nothing. Can I go back to school? Yeah, and just act like you didn't shoot somebody in the back 22 effing times? Boy. That's a scary level of... That's a scary mentality, man. Just like, damn. Wow. You live by the thug, you die by the thug.
And first at 10, a memorial is growing in Southwest Houston, where a teenage girl was gunned down while walking her dog.
As of right now, there have been no arrests. Lauren Tallarico is on Park Manor.
You know what? I'm gonna skip that one. We've already heard those details. Let me go ahead and just give you guys my closing thoughts. First and foremost, condolences to the parents of the girl. This was absolutely senseless. That, you go through things in these puppy love relationships, these kids. I mean, when I was a kid, you break up with a girl or a girl break up with you, you just move the hell on. You never thought about going to go get a gun and murder somebody. Like, what? And this dude, her boyfriend, seems to have no remorse at all. At all. That is a scary level of just no remorse. And I don't think somebody like that will learn, especially when their parents are coming and having their back, and they're going to get him through this court process and get him bailed out. And I mean, that's his legal right to do so, fine. They're going through the legal process, fine. But, you know, I remember my dad telling me that if we ended up in jail, he's not coming down there to come get us. And now I understand that more than anything. Like, kids or young adults or whatever, they don't learn when you're always coming behind trying to help get them out of predicaments that they put themselves in. And I definitely think that this is going to be a thing that he's not going to learn from. He's going to get out and he's going to be worse, and he's going to just be an abuser. That's what he's going to do. No, I don't think he's going to change. And just like somebody said in the chat earlier, zebras don't change their stripes and neither do tigers. This is who he is. He's showing you who he is. And I think that he's a danger to society. That should serve as a lesson that if he gets a short sentence, like I'm expecting, he's going to get out at some point. Whoever dates him, just understand that when you date thugs, you date death as well. Watch your kids, watch yourself. R.I.P. to that young girl, man. And pray for the parents of her too, because their lives seem to be being threatened for no freaking reason. Thank y'all so much for listening to the story. Make sure you share it. And I thank y'all for listening with an open mind as well as an open heart. And from my heart to yours, I love you all. Y'all have a great day. Have a great night. We'll see you guys on the next stream. All right, peace.